So this is one of the most cruel of my creations. It's a Rubik's Cube that changes color depending on where you look at it from. I made it using lenticular printing. And when you scramble it, well, you don't really know which parts go where, so it's extremely difficult to solve. So my name's Greg, I'm 23 years old and I'm a mechanical engineer and all right, you're going to put that in the outtakes as well? I'm a French mechanical engineer and for 8 years now I've been designing Rubik's Cubes. A friend of mine was solving the Rubik's Cube and I really wanted to try that, and I learned to solve it, and it was actually much easier than I expected. I tried other Rubik's Cubes because there are many variants, and the thing is, it was always the same thing, so I wanted to try something new, a new challenge, and since I was also interested in 3D design, I figured I should try to mix the two and invent new Rubik's Cubes, new challenges. Well, when I was a kid, I used to look at the Guinness World Records book. I had the 2004 edition, and I always read it and thought like it would be great to be in there. It would be great to have a world record, and so I decided to go with the most popular in my domain, which is puzzle design, and I created the largest, or at least highest order Rubik's Cube in the world. In 2014, actually, I started creating the 3D design to get it 3D printed. And the thing is, I saw that the price was over $7,000, so I didn't really have the money at the time. And now I figured I have a full-time job, I have a YouTube channel that works, so I actually found a sponsor. Overall, the complete process, so including design and everything, it was 25 hours of design and an overall time of 205 hours for assembly, stickering, and everything. So it was a lot of work. It's kind of heavy. It's actually exactly half the weight of my cat. There's over 6,000 parts in there, 6,153, and there's over 6,500 stickers, so solving it is a complete nightmare, and it's really heavy, so you actually have to put it on the table if you want to turn it. Most people who solve the Rubik's Cube, at least those who know how to solve a 7x7, which isn't essentially much more difficult than 3x3, would know how to solve this. Except the only problem is time, because it's not hard to solve, but it just takes time. It's the same thing over and over and over again. That one would take about 300 hours to solve. So everything that's on the top shelf and underneath that shelf is 3D printed. These are things that I designed, and this is what I collect, because I also collect things that are made by other people. Some are really, really well made, and this is hand sculpted, for example. As for my own creations, I mean, there are some that are kind of original, like for example here, where you've got a circle in the center of the faces that doesn't turn when you turn the rest, like that, for example. Then there's something which is quite interesting. This, for example, is just a face-turning dodecahedron, but when you look at it like that, it doesn't look like it's the same puzzle as this one, but it is. Actually, this is just a shape modification of this one. So this one is one of my favorites. I released it the day before the world record. It's actually just a tetrahedron with a lot of layers. It's the equivalent of a Rubik's Cube with 13 layers. And this is one of my most complex designs. It actually has gears that make the top half and the bottom half turn in opposite directions in regards to the middle layer. This is actually something that my sticker supplier and I created together for the World Championships in Paris this summer, and it's actually a functional 2x2 Eiffel Tower. So a friend of mine who actually made a modification that I own also gave me this fidget spinner as a gift, which looks just like a Rubik's Cube, and that's really cool. And after he made and sent me that fidget spinner, I decided to make one as well that looks like a Rubik's Cube, but completely. So this is a functional Rubik's Cube fidget spinner. So this is something that I designed that was mass-produced recently. It's called the multi-cube, and there's actually a cube on the outside which is corner-turning, and there's one on the inside which is corner-turning as well, and the two are linked. So when you turn the outside, the inside turns with it. But solving the outside does not necessarily mean solving the inside. So this is actually the smallest one that I've ever made. It's called the Square One. It's actually a competition item, and it can be used in competition. This is actually valid. But it's not the same as the Rubik's Cube, and you don't solve it the same way. So I think the reason why this community is growing and why people like the Rubik's Cube is that it really appeals to their compulsive need for order. Like when you see someone who sees a mixed up Rubik's Cube, they're obviously going to try to solve it because they want everything to be well finished and they want all the colors to be on their respective faces. And I think the second reason is maybe, well, a bit of showing off, because when they see people solving the Rubik's Cube really fast, they're like, oh, I should know how to do this myself. I want to learn how to do that. And then that's maybe why they're gonna try to learn how to solve it. I think it's really that need for self-satisfaction.